miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Brack, your #1 park system in the nation.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones says the decision to part ways with Coach Mike McCarthy was mutual and that the team's search for a head coach begins now. So Dallas is looking for a 9th head coach since Jones bought the team in 1989. ESPN NFL analyst Damian Woody.
This whole thing is all about Jerry Jones. And until Jerry Jones has some introspection about himself and how he runs that franchise, they'll never get to where they want to go. Regardless of who they bring in as a coach, I just think that they're stuck in the mud until Jerry Jones look at himself and see what he needs, the necessary changes there.
McCarthy is set to become a free agent at 12:01 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. The Bears and Saints expected to be interested in speaking with him. Quarterback Russell Wilson told reporters today he wants to remain with the Steelers. He clarified, though, he hasn't yet met with the team to explicitly discuss his future. NFL Wildcard Weekend finishes up tonight with the Vikings and Rams, 8 Eastern, ABC, and ESPN. The NBA fined Timberwolves star Anthony Edwards $50,000 for making obscene gestures towards a game official on Saturday.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Tuesday. Cowboys, 49ers, and Pats. I'll give you my top 5 teams who have the best chance to make the playoffs next year. It's unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're Windows. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal.
Neil's name. You, sir. And Mr. Toby Tom, play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Hope you had an awesome weekend. LSU adds a portal tight end. Mickey Loomis meets with reporters. We got coaching interviews left and right. Ton to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
As the New Orleans Saints embark on this new era of Saints football, every day and every step there's a new development, so we're, of course, going to follow it as we go along. Mickey Loomis met with reporters on Monday, first time since his season wrap press conference, and actually that was Darren Rizzi, the day after the season ended on that Black Monday, but Mickey Loomis met with reporters on Monday, and it was a lengthy press conference where they covered a lot of ground. And I believe in this offseason, obviously the most important thing you're going to do is hire a coach. who is your new head coach? That's going to be number one. If there is a 1A or a 1B or a very close number 2, it's you got to make a decision on Derek Carr and what's going to happen there. Can you play number 20, please? Here was a little back and forth about Derek Carr's contract, which we talked about last week.
He wouldn't take a pay cut, different approach, but he has a $51 million cap hit. Would y'all be comfortable going into the season with him sitting at?
Yeah, I think all that needs to be, has yet to be determined.
So, not willing to really determine what they're going to do with Derek Carr's contract. I think that very short answer speaks volumes. Because the fact that the door is at least even open to moving on from Derek Carr tells you they are considering moving on from Derek Carr. Right? I mean, if they were, put it another way, you look around the league, there are certain quarterbacks unmistakable. There are questions, like Minnesota's got a question. What do you do with Sam Darnold? You play Darnold leads you to 14 wins. What do you do? It's a big question. There's with Bryce Young. Like, there's no question. Cincinnati, we understand those. Talk about the best quarterbacks. Pound the table and declare he may not be the quarterback next year. And a new head coach may have a lot to say in that. That's something else Mickey Loomis was asked about having a new coaching staff have a
large say in quarterback direction now, maybe so. And in that same vein, the staffing, does the coach have a clean slate to hire whoever he wants? Yes. Like, is there anyone here that you're saying has to be part of that?
Nope. No, I believe in the head coach determining his staff, and absolutely.
Believe in a head coach determining his staff. So it sounds like Mickey Loomis is going to give that new coach, whomever it may be, autonomy to hire their staff and certainly look at who they want to be the quarterback. So it's a massive decision what direction they go. One more, though, and this is 13 if we could. Mickey Loomis was asked just flatly his confidence level in Derek Carr.
Yeah, I have high level of confidence in Derek. Listen, he did some really good things here. He has done some really good things here. If he had qualified, which I'm not sure if he did, I mean, his quarterback rating would be in the top 10. His interception rating would be in the top 10. His yards per attempt would be in the top 10 under some really tough circumstances when you don't have, your top 2 receivers and you don't have that special weapon in Taysom Hill and we don't have the middle portion of our offensive line and we have a rookie left tackle. There's some tough circumstances for a quarterback to deal with. So I think he's done a lot of really good things.
Those are tough circumstances. And a lot of them are circumstances that you created. But the fact that despite all the superlatives that Loomis just lauded in Derek Carr, when you come back to it, and he was asked point blank about, are you willing to carry a $51 million number for Derek Carr? And he said, we haven't made those decisions yet. It tells you at least they are open to the possibility of moving on from Derek Carr. So I am moderately encouraged. He did not say Derek Carr is coming back. So I think it is largely going to depend on who the head coach is. You hire that head coach first, and then that head coach is going to make the decision if he wants Derek Carr to be his starting quarterback. I mean, Mickey Loomis just laid that out for you. He believes in giving that coach autonomy to hire a staff, and certainly it's going to be the same thing with who the quarterback is. And I'm going to repeat today the same thing I've said about Derek Carr all along. Great guy. Seems like a very good human being. Man, husband, father, teammate, all that stuff. All those things that are way more important in life. But we also know what Derek Carr is as a starting quarterback in the NFL. In 11 seasons now, as a starting quarterback, he has had a winning record 3 times. And one of those was the 9-8 season in New Orleans last year when they went on the winning streak at the end of the season when they were already out of everything and they beat up on the bottom feeders in the NFL. In 11 seasons as a starting quarterback, 2 playoff appearances. In 11 seasons as a starting quarterback, he is the first quarterback in the history of the NFL to lose to 31 teams. In 2023 in New Orleans, he was 9-8. In 2024 in New Orleans, despite all the good things that Mickey Loomis just said, the Saints were 5-5 with Derek Carr as the quarterback. He is the thing that I have said he is since literally the day they signed him. He is a mid quarterback. He is a lower mid-tier, upper bottom-tier quarterback in the NFL. You want to bring Derek Carr back? Cool. You're going to go 8-9, 9-8, 7-10. You're not going to be bad enough to draft at the top and get your franchise quarterback, but you're never going to be good enough to win the division, make the playoffs, and compete for a championship. So what do you want to be? You want to be a middling team with Derek Carr as your quarterback, who's going to do all the things Loomis said, right? He's going to throw for a lot of yards, stuff, because that's what he is. We ordained him here. He is the emperor of empty yards. We ordained him here. The emperor of empty yards, period. I mean, I'm not surprised that he throws for a lot of yards. It's what he does. You get down, and then he's chucking the ball all around. What he doesn't do is win games. So I'm not just going to sit here and throw out mandates that you cut a guy without a solution. I've told you what my solution is. And you've seen other franchises do this. The Philadelphia Eagles made a very tough decision on Carson Wentz. They gave Carson Wentz a massive contract. Nick Foles won a Super Bowl. Wentz couldn't live up to it, and ultimately they moved on. They ate a $33.8 million dead number. Philadelphia did. They said, you know what? We recognize this guy isn't going to get us where we want to go. So they ate the number, and you know what it netted them? Jalen Hurts. And their franchise right now could, I mean, they're the 2 seed in the NFC. They're in the divisional round of the playoffs. Might be going back to a Super Bowl. The Denver Broncos ate a $53 million dead number on Russell Wilson. You know what it netted them? Bo Nix. And they were in the playoffs this year with Bo Nix as a rookie. It is not easy, especially as a leader, to acknowledge your shortcomings, to acknowledge your misses. But the New Orleans Saints missed. They wasted $100 million of Gale Bentz's money by signing Derek Carr. $100 million on that contract was guaranteed. They have wasted that money. They missed. So it's the old sunk cost fallacy. Are you going to keep sticking with Derek Carr while you continue to regress as an organization? Or are you going to acknowledge your mistake, cut ties, and start building toward what your future will be? That's my preference. Be done with Derek Carr. Play Spencer Rattler this year. Go get a cheap veteran somewhere on the market. I'm talking the Jacoby Brissett market here. The guy that's never going to be a franchise quarterback anywhere but has started, so you get somebody with some experience. 2025 is going to be miserable again, but it's going to put you in a position next year at this time to draft your franchise quarterback. That's my preference. That's what I would like to see happen. And maybe, just maybe, Mickey Loomis is starting to see that. It is, if you want the pie in the sky scenario, it is what Cincinnati did. They hired Zach Taylor. They were in a terrible situation. They bottomed out. They drafted Joe Burrow. Won 4 games in Burrow's first year. Next year, they're in a Super Bowl. With the acknowledgement and understanding for whatever coach is coming in, that they are coming into a full-on rebuild, and you are committed to that, you can have success. There are roadmaps all over the NFL to show you how. That's why we always say it's a copycat league. There are roadmaps to success all over the NFL. Pick one that's worked and walk down that path. And that path, by the way, back to a championship does not include Derek Carr. And I really don't think it should include Mickey Loomis either. All right, it's after further review. Show Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy in Louisiana with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of the New Orleans Saints, the official beer of the LSU Tigers. Tigers are back on the hardwood tomorrow. Remember, if you get there early, up until 10 minutes before tip-off of all Tuesday home LSU games, you get half off certain concessions. That includes ice cold Bud Light. So if you're going to be at LSU against Arkansas tomorrow at the Maravich Center, make sure you get on by, get half-price Bud Light until 10 minutes before tip over at the Maravich Center. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of the LSU Tigers and the official beer of AFR. All right, glad to have you on board with us here. We got a lot to do today. LSU did add a transfer portal tight end over the weekend. They added Donovan Green from Texas A&M. When we come back, I want to talk about how he fits and why I think we're starting to see a little bit of a tweak in the roster building strategy for LSU in this portal cycle. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Y'all, I know when you go outside right now and just stepping outside, your hands freeze. When it's sunny and 59 right now, and we think that's such an amazing respite from the cold, freezing weather we've had these past few weeks, it's hard to think about spring just yet, but I need you to do it. I need you to do it right now. I need you to start thinking about what those beautiful spring days are going to be like. Those sunshiny days with the warm temps, when you're out in your back patio, or those summer days as well, when you think to yourself, man, this is gorgeous, but what I would really love is my own pool in my backyard. If that's you, you got to call Duplessis Builders now. You want to be swimming when the weather gets nice, you need to call Duplessis Builders today, because there's a whole process. There's the design process of your pool or your outdoor kitchen. You got to get permitting. There's the build-out, which they're very upfront. The build-out's going to be 2 months. You want to have everything done, including the landscaping, by the time the weather's nice. You need to start now. So go online, duplessisbuilders.net.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Ross Jackson will be here in a little more than an hour from right now. He was at the Mickey Loomis press conference, get all the takeaways, and a lot of the Saints coaching carousel conversation. Mike McCarthy was fired today in Dallas, or I guess just not renewed, however you want to look at it. His contract expires tomorrow. And there are reports from Rappaport and from Schefter that the Saints and Bears are interested in Mike McCarthy. Remember, McCarthy was a Saints offensive coordinator from 2000 to 2004 under Jim Hazelate before he left to go be the head coach at he was the head coach with Green Bay, and then obviously after a stint with Green Bay with Dallas. So a lot to get to with the Saints coaching carousel stuff. We'll do that next hour when Ross Jackson's here, of course, from LouisianaSports.net. So LSU added another member to its number one transfer portal class over the weekend. Texas A&M transfer tight end Donovan Green picked the Tigers. I love this addition. It's one of those that initially when Green went in the portal and LSU was pursuing him, my initial reaction was to hand wave and say, oh, why would he come here? You already signed Bauer Sharp from Oklahoma. Sharp has 1 year left. He's a senior. He was Oklahoma's leading receiver this year, and he is your ready-made plug-and-play starter. So I looked at Donovan Green and went, man, was a really good prospect, played a lot as a freshman, had the injury, didn't play really at all this year. He's going to go somewhere where he can start right away, and that really isn't LSU, yet here we are. So you peel back the layers of the onion a little bit and wonder, okay, how did we get to this point where Donovan Green picked LSU? And I think what this is illustrating for us is a bit of a shift. Not necessarily maybe it's a shift, but I think how Austin Thomas and Brian Kelly are constructing the roster, it's malleable, right? This is a changing landscape, and they're trying to find the perfect balance of high school and portal, and then not just portal, but portal additions with multiple years. I'll elaborate what I mean a bit more in just a second, but first, a bit about Donovan Green for those that don't know. So Donovan Green, when he was coming out of the state of Texas in the class of 2022, was a composite 4-star. He was the number 5 tight end in the country, and he was the number 105 overall player. So you're talking about a guy, 6'5", 265, just bordering on the top 100 overall nationally. He was an Under Armour All-American. So you're talking about like a legit prospect. This wasn't like a project player. This was a ready-made dude, 6'5", 265, come in and contribute, and he did. As a true freshman at A&M, caught 22 balls, played in 10 games, started 4 times as a true freshman. So going into 2023, he's expected to have a bigger role. Tears his ACL in fall camp. Bummer, misses the whole 2023 season. Jimbo gets fired, new staff comes in, and he really just didn't have a role on this team. He played in 7 games, didn't record a statistic. Most of that was actually just special teams reps. So he hits the portal, looking for a new destination, and ultimately now lands at LSU in a portal class that already includes Bauer Sharp. So that had me looking and going, all right, well, why? And what does this say? I look at 2025 first and foremost, and I go, all right, there is something here that does resonate. LSU in this season was something Brian Kelly has shown pretty regularly is that he does prefer to use 2 tight end sets. So much so that if you remember, we saw LSU this year in a year where they were thin at tight end, but what they would do, of course, is they would put a tight end jersey on Bo Bordelon, who's an offensive lineman, but they put a tight end jersey on him so that way he could be an attached tight end, basically an extra blocker. And Bordelon played 182 snaps this year. Now, 73 of those were special teams, but everything else was effectively him playing in this tight end role, right, as an offensive lineman, as a tight end. So the point being, when you look at next year, you're losing the greatest pass-catching tight end in the history of your program in Mason Taylor.
Mason Taylor!
So Bauer Sharp's coming in, and he's playing that role. Sharp had almost 50 catches this past year, was Oklahoma's leading pass catcher. I mean, he is plug-and-play for Taylor. But Trey'Dez Green is the only other tight end you have on scholarship, and then, of course, J.D. LaFleur, the freshman, coming in. So if you're looking at who could be the other tight end, well, either you bulk up Trey'Dez Green, he gets much better blocking, or you ask a freshman to do it in J.D. Florida. He may be capable. We'll see. Or you go get Donovan Green. So Donovan Green at 6'5", 265 is capable of being the inline blocker that you had Bordelon, the role you had Bordelon play this year, but he's also athletically gifted enough to help you in the passing game as well. So now, while Brian Kelly loves the 2 tight end sets, he can still run 2 tight end sets. And oh, by the way, you can put Trey'Dez Green on the field as a flex receiver. Put him in the slot, wherever you want to play him, as an H-back. However you want to, you can get creative. But the point is, you could see sets with all 3 of those guys on the field. And then in 2026, when Sharp's eligibility is up, Donovan Green slides right into that role. So I think what we're seeing here is, as each season goes by and we learn more about how you're going to construct a roster in this NIL portal era, I think everybody went in with their certain approach. And as each year has passed, you've seen amendments to that approach based on the result. It's like if you're focusing a lens. Maybe this is an analogy that only makes sense for people who do media, but maybe you'll understand this. Like if you're focusing a lens, you'll turn the lens to try to get as sharp a focus as you possibly can, and sometimes you go into focus and out of focus until you settle right on the exact spot. And so I look at this and I go, okay, Brian Kelly came to LSU with a very clear intention. He had to sign a lot of portal guys initially to make up numbers because the roster was thin. But the intention was every year you saw that stair step down. You saw from the first year they signed 15 portal guys to 13 portal guys to 9 last year. So they were stair-stepping that down as they increased the high school numbers. You went from 15 high school guys the first year to mid-20s to 27 last year. So you've seen this inverse, right? Well, what's pretty clear is that while they were reducing the portal number, last year they signed 9 portal guys, which is fine. They just didn't sign impact guys. So this year there's been the move not only to sign more impact guys, but the other addition is guys that have multiple years of eligibility. Follow me here, and I don't want to confuse you with this, but just follow me, okay? Go back to Brian Kelly's first year. And you'll start to see as I paint this picture how they've sort of not changed, but tweaked. They're not completely changing the approach. We've said it a lot. Brian Kelly wants to build through the high school ranks, supplement with the portal. I don't think that's changed. I still think they're building their roster through the high school class, but a new challenge has emerged. I'll paint this picture you'll understand. So Kelly comes in 2022, and they signed 15 guys out of the portal because they needed numbers. The problem is a lot of those guys were one-year guys. Joe Fouché, Jark Bernard Converse, Mekhi Gardner. Honestly, they thought Jaden was going to be a one-year guy, but he ended up using his COVID year, which was great. So you go into 2023, and you signed 13 portal guys, and 7 of them, more than half, were one-year players. Then last year, this season, 2024, you signed 9 portal guys, and 6 of the 9 are going after 1 year. Meanwhile, as you're building through the high school ranks, remember, that's the idea. Build through the high school classes, supplement with the portal. Okay. What have we seen happen every year? A quarter of everybody's roster is in the transfer portal, which means you sign a high school class. After 1 year, a quarter of that class is in the portal. After 2 years, half that class is gone. For example, you signed 27 players in the class of 2023. That was the class that had guys like Lance Hurd, Deshaun Womack, those guys. 15 of the 27 are gone. More than half of the signing class from last December of 23, are, December 22 going into the 23 season. More than half of that class is gone. So what you have here is you keep signing 27 guys out of the high school ranks. You keep building your numbers from the bottom, and you've got your veterans that stay, right? The guys like Will Campbell and Emory Jones and Garrett Dellinger and guys that have come in and have stuck around the program. Now it's Whit Weeks, it's Ashton Stamps. Toviano is still hanging around. Look around the program and you can see the guys that have stayed, right? The problem is the middle, if that's a sandwich, right? The guys that have stayed are the top bun. The freshmen coming into the bottom. What about the middle? That's the problem because those are the guys you keep losing. So when you go to the portal now, you're not just getting the top layer guys. You're getting them for sure. As I've said, of the 15 guys that LSU's added in this portal class, I believe as of now, 7 of the 15 are plug-and-play starters. The difference is in this portal class, you have multi-year guys. Yes, absolutely, you have guys that are plug-and-play, one-and-done dudes. Josh Thompson, the offensive lineman from Northwestern, 1 year, mercenary, he's gone. Patrick Payton, defensive end from Florida State, 1 year, he's gone. Jack Pyburn from Florida got 1 year of eligibility remaining. There is that, undeniably. There are the one-and-done guys that are coming in to help you immediately. But there's also guys like Nick Anderson who might hang around a couple years. Maybe not, but maybe. There's guys like Michael Van Buren, the quarterback who's going to come sit for a year, but then in 2026 may very well be your starter. Bauer Sharp's a one-and-done, but then we're talking here about Donovan Green, who's got multiple years of eligibility. 2, possibly 3 if he gets a medical redshirt. Right now they're pursuing Tamarcus Cooley, the safety from NC State. He's a redshirt freshman. He's got 3 years of eligibility remaining. So you can see they're sort of splitting that number now. Half the class are plug-and-play 1 year mercenaries, but they're also supplementing with guys that are going to help you in 2025, but they're also going to help you in 2026. So you don't have this massive exodus from your roster again. I guess my biggest takeaway is I don't know what's going to work. I don't know. I don't think any of us do. I think as the sample size grows, we continue to look at evidence that we have of what is working, and then you try to copy that. Ohio State this year went out and got amazing impact guys in the portal. My goodness, Caleb Downs was awesome in that college football playoff semifinal. Quinshon Judkins from Ole Miss. I mean, they went and got amazing immediate impact guys. And they put together a roster that's very likely going to win a game a week from today and win a national championship. What does that leave them after? Don't know. Does it matter? Maybe not. If it's just a year-to-year proposition. Look at Florida State. Florida State went all in 2 years ago. They went 13-0, had a disappointing injury to Jordan Travis. They were left out of the playoff, and this year, the whole thing collapsed. I think something similar is going to happen to Ole Miss next year. Ole Miss was all in this year. That whole roster is gone. You can go try to rebuild in the portal again, but what if you miss? I think you're going to see a pretty significant step back from Ole Miss next year. So I think every year you're going to keep evolving and adjusting with how you build your roster. But the picture that Brian Kelly and Austin Thomas are painting here is pretty clear. They're still building through the high school ranks. They're supplementing with top-tier portal guys instead of just numbers and 9 guys in the portal like they did this year. But they're also getting those guys with multiple years of eligibility so you don't have the dramatic fall-off that Florida State had this year and that I think is awaiting Ole Miss in 2025. Donovan Green, the latest addition for LSU's number 1 transfer portal class. And they're not done, y'all. They're still going to add a safety, and they're still looking for offensive tackle help as well. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020. If you want to see 2020, call 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center. The 2 objections I think that I hear the most about LASIK or refractive procedure is, number 1, I'm scared of the laser. Number 2, I don't know if I can afford it. Well, the scared of the laser part, I'll tell you, that was one of mine. And after having a conversation with Dr. Blake Williamson, opened my eyes, if you'll forgive the refractive procedure pun, to the knowledge that LASIK is the safest elective procedure in the history of mankind. That's number 1. And the can you afford it? Well, the Williamson Eye Center will make sure that there's an option for everyone. They even have 0% financing for 24 months. So learn more about the options you have. Just go for that consultation. You talk to Kyle, the consultation coordinator. She's awesome. It's so easy. You can do the whole thing virtually. If you want to do a phone call, over Zoom or something like that, that's what's easier on your way to work, way home from work. Just take the time to get the information to see if you're a candidate, to see what your options are. It's the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows. Some disappointing news over the weekend as Kyron Lacey was arrested. We'll get to that in about 15 minutes when we come back. We'll go around the SEC, more flames emanating from Tuscaloosa. Wait until you hear this one. And LSU opening the season in Clemson. Looks like Clemson's going to have a new DC, a very familiar name. We'll tell you who next on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Watermark Hotel and the Renaissance Hotel, two amazing hotel properties, Watermark Downtown, the Renaissance Southtown. By the way, the Watermark and the Renaissance both nominated for the Best of Baton Rouge in the Best Hotel category, so would highly encourage you to go vote if you can. I'll tell you what an amazing time to get out and experience the Renaissance Hotel if you haven't yet. I love Tallulah, which we talk about all the time, but the bar area there in Tallulah has an indoor-outdoor flow. And when you go outside, they have this semicircle water feature with these fire pits all throughout it. So much so that when you sit there and you enjoy your glass of wine or your cocktail, whatever it may be, like you're steps away from Bluebonnet Boulevard, but you feel like you've been taken outside of Baton Rouge somewhere else. It's an amazing ambiance to experience a great day here, a great afternoon or evening in Baton Rouge. So check it out. Of course, if you're hosting an event, make it the Renaissance Hotel.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Well, we just get done spending a full segment talking about LSU adding Donovan Green over the weekend, and the good news keeps coming, like literally right as we were finishing that segment. A little bit of breaking news here for the LSU Tigers. On one hand, LSU place kicker Damian Ramos announces he is returning to LSU for a 5th season. The guy who won the job ahead of Brian Kelly's first year. He's been your place kicker for 3 seasons, and that consistency will remain here as Damian Ramos will be back for a 5th season in Baton Rouge, his 4th as LSU's kicker. And also significant news. I promise it's significant. I'm just trying to find it on Twitter so I can show it to our audience, our YouTube audience. NC State safety Tamarcus Cooley has committed to LSU. So that is now 16 commits for LSU's transfer portal class. And we'll tell you a bit more about Cooley later. I want to make sure we stay on time, but this is massively significant. The worst position on the LSU defense, really the LSU team all season, was your safety play. That's not even really debatable. You had to go get an impact player at safety. And you did it here with Tamarcus Cooley, a guy that played over 700 snaps as a redshirt freshman this year at NC State, was the top uncommitted safety in the transfer portal, visited Ole Miss, visited Kentucky. So it was an SEC battle, and you get him here. So, I mean, that is a really, really significant get, not only because he's a good player, but this was just a massive position of need that you had to address with a starter. Now, not only do you add Tamarcus Cooley at safety, but this also opens the door for you to keep Mansour Delane at cornerback if he wants to, the Virginia Tech transfer, who played corner at Virginia Tech, is able to play safety. But now you could put Cooley back at safety alongside, we'll see, Jordan Gilbert, Deshaun Spears getting a year older. There's still the possibility of adding another portal safety as well, which, man, if they do, you are cooking with grease. So massive get here with Tamarcus Cooley, the single biggest remaining position of need for LSU. And they add one of the best ones in this portal cycle, Tamarcus Cooley, the 16th commit for LSU's portal class. All right, it's after further review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. We're brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com. If you weigh or measure something at Michelli, they sell, service, and rent the products that you use to weigh and measure. I love so many of you have started doing this. A lot of you that maybe do plant work or whatever the case may be, if you work with precision measurement equipment, a lot of you have started to notice the Michelli trucks, and you'll snap pictures and text me or tweet me pictures of the Michelli trucks on job sites or whatever. Maybe I love that. But they're great people, and they're also hiring. So if you're looking for a new career, Michelli might be the path for you. And remember, they've got offices across 13 different states, more than 30 different calibration labs, literally from Florida to California and Oregon and points in between, 6 in Louisiana alone. So hit the careers tab. Learn more at Michelli.com. Michelli.com. At Michelli, we show the world what measurement can do. Okay, we do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Alabama Crimson Tide.
5-star offensive tackle Ty Haywood has decommitted from Alabama. I'm not going to do a full-on Bama's burning at this point. This is just like, I don't know what. This is just like throwing water on the rubble, or maybe like throwing another ember on the fire. I mean, things are already ablaze. 5-star had been committed to Alabama since July, but did not sign in this December signing period. So I think Alabama largely knew the writing was on the wall. The number 20 overall player in the country, the 4th best offensive tackle. It's thought now that he will end up at Michigan.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
Former Louisville quarterback Pierce Clarkson has signed with Ole Miss out of the transfer portal. He redshirted during his true freshman season. Got 4 years of eligibility remaining. He was a class of 2023 member, a 4-star recruit out of California.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Kentucky added the highest-ranked member of its class over the weekend when Maquise Grace committed out of South Dakota. He's an edge who had 18.5 TFLs and 9.5 sacks. 6'4", 250, got 2 years of eligibility remaining.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Montana State transfer tight end Rohan Jones has signed with the Hogs there at Kansas. Played for the Bobcats, productive season this year for the national runner-up at the FCS level. Started his career at Maine before going to Montana State, now to Arkansas.
The Missouri Tigers.
Former Colorado State tight end Vince Brown has picked Missouri, the 16th portal acquisition, the 7th on offense, had 24 catches this past year in 13 games, started 12 games for Colorado State. 28 catches for his career, I should say, 1 season of eligibility remaining.
The Auburn Tigers.
And it was good news for Auburn. Their star, Janai Broome, underwent an MRI, the basketball star, underwent an MRI following Saturday's injury, suffered a non-surgical ankle sprain. No timeline for his return, but great news there for Auburn. Broome's averaging 18 and 11 for the Tigers. All right, there you have it. That is around the SEC. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Monday show is brought to you by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Oh, yeah, they do shutters as well. Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. Bill Bender is going to be with us here in about 15 minutes. The college football playoff national championship game is set 1 week from today. So I want to recap the national semis, get a thumbnail preview of the championship game with Bill. Again, that's coming up in actually about 16 minutes from right now, so stay tuned for that. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. I will update the Kyron Lacey situation as he was, in fact, arrested over the weekend. We'll tell you the latest we know. But if you're just joining us and you missed it, massive news for LSU. Damian Ramos announces he is returning for a 5th season in Baton Rouge, and portal safety Tamarcus Cooley has committed to LSU. The Tigers address their biggest portal need remaining, adding safety to Marcus Cooley. All right, it's after further review. Stay here.
AFR.
New year is here. If your business is looking for max efficiency in 2025, and let's be honest, why wouldn't you be looking for max efficiency in 2025? Glow Resources can help. I'm going to say this. I say it often, but I'm going to say it slowly so it really resonates. Glow Resources has a 96% success rate, meaning of the thousands and thousands and thousands of interviews they do and people that place in jobs all over the country and the world, they have a 96% success rate. And if for some odd reason you happen to fall in that 4%, they'll give you a prorated refund or they'll find a new employee for you for free. You have nothing to lose and your productivity to gain. If you're looking to hire the right people in 2025, let Glow Resources help. GLO, glowresources.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
I've been doing business with Loomis for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Rolling along here. In hour number 1, already been a newsy day. We will get to Ross Jackson in about 40 minutes from right now. Mickey Loomis met with reporters. Also have an update on the Saints coaching search. A handful of interviews coming up this Friday. And Mike McCarthy fired from the Dallas Cowboys. The Bears and Saints reportedly, according to Schefter and Rappaport, interested in speaking with Mike McCarthy. So we'll talk about that with Ross Jackson coming up in about 40 minutes from right now. Bill Bender after the top of the hour. One of the things that I don't know if I'll get to this with Bill. It might be interesting just to get his thoughts. But Clemson's working on hiring Tom Allen as their defensive coordinator. If that name sounds familiar, it should, because he's bounced around the SEC biz, but he's bounced around college football a bit. He's a 54-year-old coach, and he's the former head coach at Indiana, but he did a stint at Ole Miss, which is maybe where under Hugh Freeze, which is maybe where he'd be most recognizable to folks here. So he coached under Freeze at Arkansas State in 2011, then went with him to Ole Miss from 12 through 14, then went down to South Florida at 15, was the DC at Indiana in 16, then the head coach at Indiana from 2017 to 2023. Of course, he was fired and then replaced by Curt Cignetti, who did an amazing job this year. And this was Tom Allen's first year as the defensive coordinator at Penn State, and Penn State went to the college football playoff. He did quite well, obviously. Now apparently he's leaving Penn State after one season to go to Clemson. So transient life of a football coach. But I think what's interesting is with Tom Allen, he has a reputation. And by the way, the reason we're talking about this, about Clemson hiring a defensive coordinator, is just to prepare you. Throughout this offseason, we are going to talk a lot about Clemson. It's not going to happen every single day, but when there's something notable for the 2025 Clemson football team, we're going to talk about it because LSU opens 2025 at Clemson, and very clearly, that's a massive game for LSU's 2025 playoff hopes, because if you lose that game, then really you only have, as evidence showed us this year, one game to play with. The 9-3 SEC teams didn't get in the playoff this year. The 10-2 teams did, or better. So if you lose to Clemson in that opener, then you got one league game to play with. You got to go 7-1 in the league. So, yeah, it's a massively significant game for LSU. So what happens with Clemson, we're going to talk about. So the thing about Tom Allen is he's had success going places. Like, The 2011 Ole Miss team was atrocious under Houston Nutt, that final team, if you remember. That's the one where Mettenberger's taking a knee with 6 minutes to go. Well, 2012, Allen was the linebackers coach at Ole Miss. They went in and consistently improved that Ole Miss defense. His one season at South Florida, his one season in Tampa at South Florida, they ranked first in the league in scoring defense at 19 points a game. Then he goes to Indiana, and every year they ended up improving defensively. They were like 120th in the country in total defense, and every year they consistently improved there under Tom Allen, which is why he became the head coach. And it obviously didn't work out. Then this year at Penn State, they were one of the best defenses, a top 10 defense in all the major categories in the country. I look at Clemson, though, next year, and I wonder about that defense because, man, this year they were 69th in total defense, 62nd in scoring defense, 33rd in pass defense, 77th in rush defense. Now, they didn't lose any key starters to the transfer portal, and they added Will Helt, the defensive end from Purdue. But I still don't know if Clemson's – I know that Clemson's defensive talent isn't like it was with that 2018 defensive line with guys like Cleveland Farrell and Dexter Lawrence. I mean, like, it ain't that. You know what they were, where you just have this bevy of first-rounders. But is Tom Allen the guy that's going to get them to turn around rapidly from being 70th, 60th, 70th in all the major categories to being top 30 and one that can compete for a championship? We'll see. But he's going to have a heck of a challenge in the opener with Garrett Nussmeier and that LSU offense coming in. But anyway, Penn State defensive coordinator Tom Allen looks like he's heading to Clemson to be their new defensive coordinator after just 1 year at Happy Valley. All right, it's after further review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Monday shows, as always, are brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. On Friday, while we were here, the news broke about the warrant for Kyron Lacey's arrest. And on Sunday night, Kyron Lacey did turn himself in to the Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office, and he was booked at the Lafourche Parish Correctional Center. He was charged with 3 charges: negligent homicide, felony hit and run with a death, and reckless operation of a vehicle. Of course, the incident, by now you probably know, happened in Lacey's hometown of Thibodaux back on December the 17th, where Lacey allegedly was speeding. He crossed the center lane where there was a double yellow. It was a no passing zone. He caused several vehicles to swerve, allegedly causing a crash which killed 78-year-old Herman Hall. Like I said on Friday, there's nothing to editorialize here. I don't have any hot take. I don't think there needs to be. This is a tragedy. A man died, and a young person in Kyron Lacey, who has his whole future ahead of him now, is facing these charges, which are obviously very serious, and when prosecuted to the fullest extent, include jail time. Now, everyone is innocent until proven guilty. Kyron Lacey, like everyone, is afforded due process, and he'll have his day in court, and this will be litigated, and we'll see where it all lands. So I'm not going to come with some hard take or anything like that. It's just a really awful situation for everyone involved. And to whatever degree this can have a good ending, the best ending it can for everybody, I hope that happens. But we'll keep you posted as it develops. Okay, hour number 2, Bill Bender next.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Watermark Hotel in downtown Baton Rouge, Baton Rouge's premier hotel property. The Watermark, voted by you the best hotel in the Best of 225 awards. It's absolutely gorgeous if you've never experienced it. As a matter of fact, I overheard my coworker, Jimmy Brooks from 100.7 The Tiger earlier today. Was on the phone, has a friend in from out of town. They were talking, their friend's staying at the Watermark, and they're going to have dinner tonight at the Gregory right there in the Watermark Hotel. It doesn't matter if you're looking for a gorgeous place to stay, have guests coming in from out of town. If you want an elegant dinner, the Gregory is perfect. Maybe you just want to have a cocktail before dinner or after work, cocktail, glass of wine. The lobby bar at the Watermark is exquisite. And I would always recommend, man, head up to the top and check out those panoramic views of Baton Rouge. The gorgeous, undisrupted views of the river are just awesome. Some of the best you'll find anywhere. It's right there, downtown Baton Rouge, at Baton Rouge's premier hotel property, the Watermark Hotel.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast office products.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The latest NFL head coaching vacancy is in Dallas. Owner Jerry Jones said Mike McCarthy won't return as Cowboys coach and that the sides mutually agreed to part ways, so McCarthy will become a free agent. Bears and Saints expected to be interested in speaking with him regarding their openings. Pro Football Hall of Famer and First Take co-host Shannon Sharp.
For me, I don't like Mike McCarthy to Chicago. I think somebody else, I like Ben Johnson or even Cliff Kingsbury to get that job. I like AG, Aaron Glenn, to go to New Orleans. I think we've seen Mike McCarthy, and look, that's not to say that he's a good coach. I don't think he's great.
Eagles starting linebacker Nakobe Dean will miss the rest of the playoffs with a torn patellar tendon. Oren Burks likely fills in for him moving forward. Next up for the Eagles in the divisional round, the winner of tonight's Rams-Vikings wildcard game, 8 Eastern, ABC and ESPN. A 55-year-old Texas man, Michael Lewis, was arrested on a felony stalking charge in Indianapolis after allegedly sending threats and sexually violent messages to Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark via social media.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Tuesday. Cowboys, 49ers, and Pats. I'll give you my top 5 teams who have the best chance to make the playoffs next year. It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Oh!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Ross Jackson will be here in about 30 minutes. He was there covering the Mickey Loomis press conference in New Orleans. So the latest on the Saints coaching search in 30 minutes from right now. College football playoff, the Natty set 1 week from tonight. Bill Bender, Sporting News, good enough to join us here as we recap the semis and get set for one more game of college football. Bill, we appreciate it, man. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Always our pleasure. The Penn State result. Were you surprised?
At the result?
Yeah.
I guess I was surprised at how it unfolded, because at halftime I would have told you, well, Penn State's probably going to win this 24-10 or 24-13, and then we're going to pile on Notre Dame because they couldn't stop the run. But Notre Dame certainly flipped that script in a hurry. The first drive of the second half really flipped the entire game. So no, I picked actually, it's funny. I picked Notre Dame to win by 3. I'm not patting myself on the back because I certainly didn't feel like that was going to happen at halftime.
To what do you attribute? I mean, because I guess, Bill, there's two different storylines there. Of course, it's Notre Dame advancing, and then it's the disappointment for James Franklin and Penn State as well. Where do you lay the blame for Penn State's failure again?
You can't totally blame James Franklin, because I think if they would have need the ball out, we would have blamed them for stalling had they lost in overtime, or just running out the clock and not being aggressive. So I guess you can't have it both ways there. You know, Drew Aller made a bad decision throwing the ball across the field, and that's Notre Dame kid made a really awesome interception on it. So It's unfortunate that happened. But I do think if I would blame the coaching staff for anything, it would be they got away from the run a little bit in the second half. You know, first 2 drives, they had 1 first down, and they allowed Notre Dame to get in the game and turn that into the 4-quarter game that it became.
Texas and Ohio State ended up being similar, a 4-quarter game. We ended up having a couple of really good games. Do you look at Texas-Ohio State as a game that was played among evenly matched teams, or was it more a superior team in Ohio State making mistakes to allow a lesser team to hang around?
No, I think they were pretty even, honestly. You know, Texas had a really good game plan to take Jeremiah Smith out. They just had 2 really bad play calls in the game. The defensive delay, safety blitz, whatever you want to call it, that led to the 75-yard screen pass. And some would argue that, hey, the linemen were already downfield. You can't let that happen at the end of a half. Then the toss play near the goal line. Now, some will say, well, Ohio State had this really good interior defense, and they do. They were a really good goal line defense team, but you got to be able to push it up there for 1 yard. Not run a toss, get yourself into trouble, and set up the play that, you know, they'll be replaying. As you know, I live in Columbus area. They'll be playing that Jack Sawyer touchdown until I die.
Yeah, it was funny on the broadcast. I think Herb Street mentioned that he said it was a top 3 play of the last 50 years in Ohio State football. Have you, with a few days to think about it, any context on that play, the significance of that play?
Oh, top 4. And the other 3 that I remember my lifetime would be, you know, the Holy Buckeye Brett Musburger touchdown, Craig Krenzel to Michael Jenkins, the Ezekiel Elliott touchdown run against Alabama in the Sugar Bowl. And I thought, you know, my column Friday night was that run to Travion Henderson's screen pass, and then Jack Sawyer trumps it. And I would say the other it's not a touchdown, but one of the plays that I'll always remember is Maurice Claret stripping the ball from Sean Taylor.
Oh, yeah.
In the Fiesta Bowl. And Jack Sawyer's touchdown, if they win the national title, it's going to be up there. And right with those for the rest of the time. So it was a huge play, a fun play, ended a really tight game, you know. And so, again, long-winded way of saying that game was pretty even. That was 2 heavyweights. I was really impressed with Texas' defense, and they just had a few. I mean, you watch SEC closer than I do. You tell me the same thing. That's kind of the story of their season.
Is Texas really in the SEC? It still doesn't feel like that, Bill. I mean, I guess they are. I mean, they got the patch on their jersey and everything like that. It just still feels like it's going to be a minute to get used to accepting that. I mean, it is what it is, I guess. But Bill Bender's with us from the Sporting News. Bill, I look at this, and the championship game now is going to match the 7 seed and the 8 seed. So is it safe to say that the playoff behaved as it was anticipated?
Somewhat. You know, I wrote a column for us today, I think it's running tomorrow, about like things I would tweak about the playoff. It was fun, first of all. And I think if you get into the exercise of comparing it into the NFL playoff, you're going to lose. Because and I'm a Green Bay Packer fan, so I'm in a bad mood today. But the playoff, the NFL playoff format is understood. There's a scheduling formula, tiebreakers, all that. We know exactly what the parameters are to get in the playoff. They don't seed it right either. We don't care, right? And Wild Card Weekend was fun. The Tampa Bay game was fun, but I just don't think we obsess about seeding and those things in the NFL as much as we did with the college football playoffs. We need to seed it properly. We need to make it shorter. As I'm pointing out, Ohio State played Michigan. It'll be, I think, 51 days, 50 days, something like that, for the national championship game from the regular season finale. The week 18 to the Super Bowl is about 36 days. And to me, those 15 days, the playoffs needs compressed, in my opinion. We need to get this thing probably done by January 8th at the latest.
Okay. That's one thing I hadn't heard, Bill. So effectively not reducing the number of teams, but just not having that long layoff from the championship weekend, right, conference championship weekend, until the first round of the games.
I would try to, if I had it my way, you always get, if you were the commissioner of college football, well, I'd have it done by January 1st, honestly. I would go straight into it. Regular season, I would skip the conference championship games. We'll never do that.
Same, yeah.
But I would just skip them. Say, hey, if we can't figure out who the 12 best teams are in these mega conferences, we're going straight on December 7th. We'll play the next round on the 14th. We'll play the semifinals on the 21st. We'll give them a week off, and we'll play this thing on January 1st and make January 1st feel like the Super Bowl every single year.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That's the way I would do it. I mean, we can do the same number of teams. We can put the second round on home. That's the other one I would tweak. I think I'd put our second round games on campus, because at the point what was Georgia's reward? Georgia's won 31 straight home games. They could have used a home game.
Yeah.
Oregon's lost one home game with Dan Lanning. They probably could have used a home game at Autzen Stadium instead of a 25-day break.
What's interesting, Bill? I agree with you, and it's very sensible. But the two things that you proposed would dramatically cut revenue for this event, which is the whole reason, right? I mean, they're not going to do away with the bowl tie-ins because of the revenue, and they're not going to do it with conference championship games, which are nothing but a gate receipt. They don't mean anything, really. I mean, we have 75 years of college football without conference championship games. Right. So how do you make up the revenue, really, is the question that they haven't figured out.
Yeah, and that's the problem. And with my plan is I know when I say that out loud that the SEC championship game is never going to go away.
Right.
No, but I'm in Big Ten country where Big Ten fans, we've had it. We've not had it. We've done both. We had I lived through in the 90s a couple times. I remember, I think one time there was a 4-way tie atop the Big Ten. And they sent one of them to the Rose Bowl, and we were like, that's fine. So that's not going to happen. That's just the way I would do it, just to compress it a little bit, because I think, it was pointed out to my editor, Phil Trocchi, to me today, we're going to have 10 NFL playoff games that will have been played between Texas, Ohio State, and Ohio State, Notre Dame. I don't think you win that head-to-head battle if you're college football.
Yeah. Well, we will see Ohio State, Notre Dame for the national championship. Ohio State's a 9.5-point favorite. It certainly feels like they are a just dramatically superior team, athletically, talent-wise, in every way. If there is a path for Notre Dame to upset Ohio State, what do you think that looks like?
Like it did last year in South Bend. Slow the game down, limit the number of drives both ways. There weren't turnovers in that game last year. It's just, Notre Dame's going to have to kind of use the same formula they've used all year. It relies on defense, special teams. They can't have the start that they had against Penn State, against Ohio State's running game. And I think they'll borrow some concepts that, Michigan did. Notre Dame's built a lot like Michigan with better offensive players. So I think they can. Will they? I mean, you're talking to a Catholic school kid from Central Ohio whose phone's going to not stop all week. So, I've got some Notre Dame buddies on my phone that certainly think they can, but I think they need a few turnovers along the way.
Yeah, my brother's a Notre Dame alum, Bill, who's trying to get over to Atlanta for the game, and I keep trying to tell him, hey, bro, don't Like, don't waste your money, bro. Like, this is probably one you want to just catch from the house, man. As a guy who watched the LSU Alabama National Championship game in New Orleans, those scars linger, man, when you lose those types of games. Bill Bender, Sporting News. You'll get him on Twitter at BillBender92. Bill, we appreciate it, man. Happy New Year.
Hey, anytime. Happy New Year. Thanks for having me on. Talk to you soon.
It's our pleasure. It's After Further Review, brought to you by Evamore. EVAMOR, Evamore.com. I love that a lot of people now, whenever they talk to some of my buddies over at Evamore, they'll say, oh, that's Moscona's water. They're like, no, it's our water. What do you mean? But yes, it's the water we talk about all the time, and highly, highly, highly recommend it to you. If you want a better form of hydration, you want a healthier option for your children, for your family, you buy the 64-ounce bottle of Evamore and put it in your Keurig when you make your coffee. Understand the importance of drinking a natural product. You think, oh, bottled water is just water. No, it's not. Read the label. How many times you'll read minerals added for flavor, things added, taken away. With Evamore, nothing. Straight out of that natural artesian well, into their bottling plant, into the bottle, capped, never touches air until you uncap it and take that first sip. Try it side by side with another bottled water. You'll never go back. It's like seeing HD TV for the first time. You'll never go back to standard def again. EVAMOR, Evamore.com, Evamore.com. You can find a local retailer nearest you, just hitting the drop-down menu to find a store. Or, of course, you can order online at Evamore.com. EVAMOR, Evamore.com. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Ross Jackson will be here in about 15 minutes from right now. If you missed the news, good news for the LSU football Tigers. Tamarcus Cooley, safety out of NC State. He's picked the Tigers, and Damian Ramos returning for a 5th season in Baton Rouge. Brian Kelly keeps just stacking the deck in favor of the Tigers for 2025. That certainly means expectations go up, 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 as well they should. We'll talk a bit more about it as we roll through here. Glad you're here. Stick around. It's AFR.
After Further Review.
Of course, if you want to buy Evamore, you can buy it over at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. They got tons of Evamore over at Rouse's, but they also got king cakes over at Rouse's. You realize during carnival season, Rouse's will bake up some 600,000 king cakes. You want to know why they're expertly trained or why they're so good? Is when you do something 600,000 times, you're going to be pretty good at it. That's the Rouse's king cakes. The consistency, the flavor, all the different flavors. Go find your favorite Rouse's king cake at Rouse's. Which Rouse's? Any Rouse's. There's 70 of them from Lake Charles to Orange Beach, Alabama. And if you want to ship a king cake to a friend, maybe a relative who lives out of town now, you go to Rouse's.com. You get all the info there, how you can do it. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. We always encourage you as well, if you are making groceries, getting that shopping list together, check out the weekly ad at Rouse's.com or on the app, how you can save. Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Brack, your #1 park system in the nation.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
So the Philadelphia Eagles blasted the Green Bay Packers. By the way, to everyone who complains about the college football playoff and the opening round games not being competitive, you just had a wild card weekend where every team covered except the Bucs, who lost. They got Jaden Daniels, by the way. But yeah, the games weren't really competitive. All the home teams won except the Bucs, and we'll see how tonight goes with the game that's relocated. But anyway, sometimes it happens in the playoffs where in early round games, the better teams win, but you make them win in advance. You don't just assume it, which is why you have full playoffs. It's amazing that I have to keep explaining that to sports fans who watch successful playoffs in every other sport, but somehow they push back against it in college football, like the college football universe is somehow different from every other universe in the history of mankind. I digress. One of the things that we saw, though, that was quite curious during the Eagles-Packers game is Eagles star receiver A.J. Brown, who was only targeted 3 times in the game, had 1 catch for 10 yards. At one point during the game, the cameras caught him reading a book on the sideline. Well, incidentally, that book, which is by a self-help author named Jim Murphy, the book called Inner Excellence. Inner Excellence has become an Amazon bestseller overnight. Like, Jim Murphy owes A.J. Brown, A.J. Brown, the cameraman, and the game's director that put this shot on television, a tremendous debt. For whatever it's worth, this was a little-known book. It went all the way up to #1 on Amazon's bestseller list as of Monday morning. It took the top spot on the trending list after it was previously ranked. You want to guess? Guess where Inner Excellence was ranked before yesterday on the trending list.
So it was ranked, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this isn't a trick question. Okay.
Not a trick question. Got the number right here.
1,275th.
You're about 500,000 spots off.
Holy crap.
523,497 is where Inner Excellence ranks. So basically, Jim Murphy's book was being read by A.J. Brown, Jim Murphy, and Jim Murphy's mom. Like, that's about the extent of the list that read this book. Then all of a sudden, it's the #1 trending book.
Bruh. That's a long list, too.
That's like Oprah, dog.
Yeah.
That's like Oprah's favorite things. You get on Oprah's favorite things, you're set. Like, you're made forever. This guy apparently was a former minor league outfielder in the Cubs organization. Told the AP in an interview Sunday night his phone started blowing up once his book was basically shown in an NFL game. After the game, A.J. Brown was asked about it because everyone assumed he was ticked and putting on because he wasn't involved. So he's like, well, if you aren't going to involve me in the offense, I'm just going to go read a book on the sideline. This is what A.J. Brown said after the game.
What is the book about? Yeah. Why do you read it during the games, and what does it bring to you?
Man, it gives me a sense of peace
that's a book that I bring every single game. And, you know, my teammates call it a recipe. You know, that's the first time I heard that y'all got me on camera. Yeah. But that's not the first game. You know, it got a lot of points in there. It's a lot of mental game, a lot of mental parts about it. And, you know, but for me, you know, this game is mental. You know, I physically believe I can do anything and everything. But, you know, I got to make sure my mental good. It's something like how I refresh every drive. You know, regardless of if I score a touchdown or I drop a pass, I always go back to that book every drive and just refocus. Nothing matters, nothing happens. Just reload back in. But, you know, so. No, it felt good. Felt real good. You know, moving around really good.
All right, so that's enough. So he says he does it every game. He said it's just the first time that they've caught him on camera doing it. So I naturally thought, what if Saints receivers maybe were caught on the sideline reading a book about Derek Carr? Like, what would those books maybe be like? I'd be very interested to know. So I came up kind of with a little bit of a list here. Tell me what you think about some of these potential book titles. I like that song too.
I can tell they're humming along with it.
What to expect when you're expecting a hospital ball?
Oh my God. All right, yeah, that's one.
I mean, these are actual books, Muse.
Yeah.
Search it on Amazon.
That one's like 600,044 on their list or something like that. On the trending list.
They saw Chris Olave on the sideline reading, "I'm the catcher and I cry."
Jeez.
Get it?
Yeah, I get it.
Because there's the book, the
Catcher in the Rye.
Catcher in the Rye.
Yeah.
Catcher and I cry.
And I cry. It's so bad. Okay, what else you got?
How about Embrace the Suck?
That's what his receivers are reading, or is that?
Yeah, no,
okay,
that's what we saw Rashid Shaheed on the sideline reading that.
All right, yeah. Shouldn't to be a bestseller. All right, there.
That's an actual book.
Is it really?
You never heard of it? Look it up. I'm serious. Look it up. Type in "Embrace the Suck."
All right, hold on.
Type in "Embrace the Suck."
I am.
Okay.
Embrace the Suck. Interesting thing to Google, too. Oh, yeah. Dr. Grant wrote that. Okay. Looks like. That's insane. I did not know there was a real book there, man.
How to Get Away with Murder.
Okay. Yeah. I like that one. I like the hospital one better, but I like that one. That's good.
They caught Taysom Hill on the sideline reading Trading for Dummies.
Sure. That one I like. That might move into the lead right there. Trading for Dummies. Yeah.
Chicken Soup for the $150 million overpaid quarterback soul.
See, I think that's what Derek Carr would be reading, though. Not his receivers, right?
Maybe so.
Maybe. He might need to read that book.
Is A.T. Perry still on the team? I can't remember.
It's a great question, actually. I don't think he is.
I think he's gone.
I think they waived him.
Bub Means is still hanging around,
Bub
right?
Means is hanging around. He got hurt a lot, though.
Maybe he was the one that was reading the magic book on how to make someone disappear.
That's...
Derek Carr's pretty good at that.
He is.
He's pretty good at making receivers disappear.
He does it often.
You know. Couple more.
Yeah, that's what you got. I like them.
As we've started to see these, you got the All-22 use. And the All-22 sometimes will get shots that maybe you don't, but you can do like how they have the NBC it, they can zoom in. So all these cameras are like zooming in on the books that these guys are reading on the side. You think what they're doing on the sideline is reading the playbook and going over. No, they're actually reading books. Like Cloudy with a Chance of Hospital Balls.
It's a children's book right there, that one. Yeah,
that's good. Alvin loves children's books.
He does.
Airheads. There's the other one that's Are you there, God? It's me, Alvin.
Never mind, that's the best one. We're starting the Derek Carr book club here, man.
Amazon bestsellers, I'm telling you, it's going to happen. As soon as everyone just starts zooming in on those titles. Really, really good selection as well. AJ Brown's reading a book on the side.
God, are you there? It's me, Alvin. You have to laugh, because if you don't, sometimes you'll cry.
Cloudy with the chance.
That's written by Michael Thomas, I think, that one right there.
Screw that guy. It's After Further Review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Our Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows. Beautiful entry doors, hardy plank vinyl siding. They do it all. They do it better than anyone. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. All right, quick break. Ross Jackson was at the Mickey Loomis presser earlier today. Biggest takeaways and the latest on the Saints coaching search. That's all next on AFR.
After Further Review.
We're brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Thrilled to tell you about our partners over at Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Gentlemen, it doesn't matter how old you are. It's about how you feel. It doesn't matter if you're 30s, your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, your 70s. If you're living, our lives were meant to be vibrant. We were meant to have vitality. And as we age, our body produces less of the testosterone and the hormones that contribute to how we feel. Don't go through life being sick and tired of being sick and tired. A simple blood test can let you know if you're a candidate for hormone replacement therapy. And at Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, they also have ED treatments as well. Just take that step. They're on Drusilla in Baton Rouge. They've got the lowest prices, never any contracts. So learn more online at yourgoodwood.com. That's yourgoodwood.com. For Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, yourgoodwood.com.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Mickey Loomis met with reporters on Monday, update the coaching search and all that junk. Ross Jackson was there, LouisianaSports.net. Of course, Locked On Saints podcast as well. He's here now. How are you, man?
Hey, bud, doing great. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Biggest takeaway from sitting and listening to Mickey Loomis drone on for, what was it, about 30 minutes or so?
Spoke with us about 45. 45 minutes.
Maybe I passed out after 30.
And to his credit, we were told probably about with 15 minutes left that we had about one more question, and then we just didn't stop asking questions.
Okay.
So we kind of pushed it. But look, I think that the biggest thing that I think you can take away from this press conference is that, well, they're kind of looking at things the way they typically look at things, right? There's not really a big shift or mentality shift in terms of the approach from one season to the next year, going into 2025 and going into this coaching search. I think that they're waiting on who that head coach is in order to be able to further define what some of the changes are that are on the way. And I think the other big takeaway is that the team, despite Dennis Allen saying earlier on this season, I think you'll remember that they were going to do a deep dive to figure out what was going on with all of the injuries. They have not done that deep dive. And so I guess they're going to do that deep dive to see if they can get things figured out in terms of injury and stuff like that. But I think those are the two biggest things that kind of struck me throughout that press conference.
He was asked about Derek Carr, and I guess, Ross, if nothing else, he was non-committal. He didn't definitively say he's back.
I would agree.
That makes me think the door is open for Derek Carr not being back. Where do you fall in that sliding scale right now?
Yeah, I think that it comes down to who the head coach is and what the head coach wants. I think that's one of the reasons why he kind of left that a little bit open. He said that he likes what it is that Derek Carr has done for them. He kind of accidentally spoke in past tense and then kind of brought it back into present tense at one point in terms of doing that. But, he spoke all about how, if he qualified this year, he would have been top 10 in a couple of different metrics and things like that, which are all true to his case. But I think that the thing that was most notable is that there was no Derek Carr is our quarterback kind of statement, right? And I think that what that means is that they're going to see what it is that the new head coach wants. If the new head coach wants a year with Derek Carr, then that head coach will get a year with Derek Carr. If that coach wants another quarterback, then based on the lack of commitment, it sounds like the team would be willing to hear that. And in fact, actually, Mickey was asked if such a thing would make a head coach seem less desirable, say that there was a head coach that said that they didn't want to work with Derek Carr, and he did not ascribe to that at all. And it sounds like they're very much going to take the lead at the quarterback position from the new head coach.
He's on Twitter at Ross Jackson Nola. You want to give him a follow. When you started there, Ross, you said the biggest takeaway was that it's, I don't want to say status quo, but they're continuing with their same approach. What does that mean for the salary cap?
Yeah, I think the salary cap is kind of the one big kind of looming thing. Mickey Loomis did say that, they're a team that's got 61 players on their roster, which is true. But so do the San Francisco 49ers. The San Francisco 49ers are $46 million under the salary cap. So it's less about the number of contracts that you have. And I think one of the other things that Loomis was highlighting was there's all these other things too, guarantees, restructures, all this other stuff. It's about when those contracts were given out and what's been done with those contracts since those contracts were negotiated. And so you've seen the Saints, of course, restructure and kind of do this kicking the can down the road method for quite a while now. Now, the Saints are currently somewhere between $50 to $60 million over the salary cap. I say that because we don't actually know what the salary cap is yet still going into 2025. But the estimation is that it's going to be somewhere north of like $270 million. That would put the team somewhere around $53 million over. That's small potatoes, considering what they've done in the recent past. And so the salary cap situation has gotten better. So I think you're going to see them continue to do what they did over the course of last year, as opposed to what they've done in previous years, where they kind of maximize all the restructures in previous years. Last year, they were really kind of only giving out those 1-year deals. They only gave out like 1 or 2 2-year deals. I think you're probably going to see a same sort of like fiscally responsible approach with maybe 1 or 2 nice-sized signings to accompany, a la the Chase Young signing from last year, in terms of allowing them to be able to start to really get their way out of the salary cap. So that's maybe one place to where the approach isn't changing from recent years, but the approach is still a departure from years past.
It's got a good piece up at LouisianaSports.net right now. 5 takeaways from Mickey Loomis in the end-of-year presser. If you want to read it, everything always free over at LouisianaSports.net. He's Ross Jackson. Obviously, the other gigantic piece is the head coaching piece. Can you catch us up on where we are, sort of the flyover, who's interviewed, who's coming up, all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, so the people that have interviewed already have all been virtual interviews, which is per the NFL rules. They've had interviews so far with defensive coordinator from the Miami Dolphins, Anthony Weaver, defensive coordinator from the Detroit Lions, the presumed favorite going into this conversation, Aaron Glenn. And then they also had an interview with offensive coordinator and assistant head coach for the New York Giants, Mike Kafka. Going into this week, there was some expectation that maybe they would find a way to interview Mike Vrabel, but of course Vrabel took his job with the New England Patriots, so you can cross him off of your list. Going into this week, the expectation is that they'll interview interim head coach Darren Rizzi at some point this week, and then sometime Friday and Saturday, interviews with 3 different offensive coordinators: Kellen Moore from the Philadelphia Eagles, Joe Brady, former offensive assistant here in New Orleans, and of course, a big part of that 2019 LSU championship team, Joe Brady over with the Buffalo Bills. And then, of course, they also have requested to speak with Cliff Kingsbury of the Washington Commanders. According to reports, the expectation is that all 3 of those interviews will take place Friday and Saturday. We don't know the day yet for Darren Rizzi's interview. Now, the big new wrinkle is Mike McCarthy, who has parted ways with the Dallas Cowboys today. He's expected to effectively become one of the favorites and one of the front runners to land the New Orleans Saints coaching job now. So we'll see when they get on the horn, when they decide to try to bring him in for an interview and get that conversation done. The interesting thing about him is that he's a hire now that they could make at any time, that any team that's looking for a head coach can make at any time. They don't have to kind of follow the NFL timeline. So that's where the next big wrinkle comes in, is where does Mike McCarthy fit into the puzzle for New Orleans?
Where does Mike McCarthy fit into the puzzle for New Orleans?
Yeah, he's going to be one of the top guys. He's going to be somebody that they like. Jane Slater was speaking earlier in Dallas, and she was talking about how he's beloved within the building in New Orleans. Of course, a couple of the big decision makers on the, for lack of a better phrase, kind of search party or search panel, if you will, for that head coaching position. Mickey Loomis as well as Randy Mueller, former general manager. Both of those guys were on staff when Mike McCarthy was an offensive coordinator here, 2000 to 2004. And so they think very highly of him, reportedly. And the expectation is that with him now being available, that he jumps either to the top or at least near the top of the list for New Orleans in terms of the potential candidates for their next head coach in 2025.
Oh, boy. I'm not sure that's going to be met with resounding praise from the.
I don't think that's going to be the most inspiring hire. I completely agree with you. Do I think that he's the worst head coach option? No. But do I think that hire is not going to be the most inspiring? Absolutely. I completely agree with you there.
Make sure you check out Locked On Saints podcast, YouTube, whichever you prefer. Of course, you can read Ross's work every day for free over at LouisianaSports.net. We appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Thanks for having me. See you soon.
All right, that's Ross Jackson. My goodness, Mike McCarthy. The interesting thing about McCarthy as I look at it, real quick, brought to you by Shaw Bills. Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. I'm going to give you a thought on McCarthy here in just a quick second. Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. Love telling you about Shaw Bills every single day. And one of the awesome things about Shaw Bills, you go to the website, hit the tab at the top of the page for the dealer specials, all the promotions tab. It'll tell you all the deals. And I also voice all the radio spots, for the recorded spots for Shaw Bills as well, so you get to read them. And it doesn't matter if it's BF Goodrich or Michigan. I mean, Michelin. Name brand tires, wholesale prices. And remember to ask about the Shaw Bills credit card. Because it's a credit card that is only for your car. it's VIP pricing. It's interest-free for 6 months. It's drive now, pay later. So if you're going to buy tires, you want to pay for them over 6 months interest-free. Like, buying tires isn't always fun or easy, no doubt, but ShawBills helps, and they can do it with ShawBills credit card as well. A great deal. So check it out, ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBills, where we keep you rolling. So the thing about McCarthy is I find myself, when talking about McCarthy with the Cowboys here, always kind of defending Mike McCarthy, saying he's a guy that won a Super Bowl. He's a guy that in 5 years had the Cowboys in the playoffs 3 times in 5 years. He won 12 games 3 times. Like, that's a really impressive record in the National Football League. And so then it's like, if you turn it around, ask people, and someone said, well, would you want to be the Saints coach? Not really. So that's kind of your answer. Like, a completely different analogy, that was like the Les Miles question. When LSU people would sort of argue against Les, people outside of LSU would say, hey, look at all the games he's won, and he won a championship. And it's like, well, you want to be your coach? No, we're good. And that's kind of always the answer. And I think that's kind of the answer with McCarthy. He's got a great record as a head coach. He's won a Super Bowl. He's been in the playoffs, had a long tenure. He's been in the NFL a long time. There's a lot there. But it also feels like there's something that doesn't exactly inspire success at the highest level at this point. Like, maybe you just know that if you hire Mike McCarthy, you're just going to be a good team that wins a bunch of games, but you're never really going to compete for the ultimate prize. And I think you'd rather go with the unknown that has the potential to be the ultimate prize. So that will, I'm telling you, man. Ooh, boy. They hire Mike McCarthy. Get ready for the melt. All right, it's after further review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. We'll knock out our final break of hour number 2. Come back. Muse will have Tigers in the pros. If you missed it in hour number 1, the news broke that Tamarcus Cooley, the safety from NC State, committed to LSU. I'll give you a full rundown of that and how it fits for LSU in 15 minutes from right now. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area: Seagan near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Any of the 4 Clegg's Nursery locations, they're all awesome, so get by with an incredible selection over at Clegg's Nursery. And it really is an amazing time to get in the garden, to get in the yard, and just plant something. It is the best time to plant trees, shrubs, fruit trees. If you are planting a tree, if you're thinking of planting a tree in your yard, this is the time to do it. You need to do it now while it's cool. Clegg's Nursery has an amazing selection. Also, they have a beautiful selection of colorful bedding plants that love this cooler weather. So if you want to add that pop of color to your flower beds, to your patio pots right now, do it. Clegg's can help. And they have Johnny Naylor seeds. There he is right there if you're watching. They have Johnny Naylor seeds arriving weekly at all 4 Clegg's Nursery locations. So buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioneer Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the...
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Wrapping up hour number 2, Otter. Back today. Excited to have Jimmy back. So we'll do Otter Locks. By the way, the Otter. Did you happen to notice yesterday? Did you pay attention?
I forgot to play games yesterday.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, let's just very quickly remind you what the Otter had yesterday. So the Otter gave us Buffalo. Gave us Philly. He gave us the under in the Buffalo-Denver game. Gave us the under in Philly-Green Bay. And gave us the under in Tampa-Washington. Shaboy went 5 and
yeah.
Yesterday. Welcome back, Otter.
Yeah, man.
How about that?
That's strong. That is incredibly strong. Strong to quite strong.
Otter Locks coming up in about an hour from right now. Right now, courtesy of Matthew, Dominic, Musso, Tigers in the Pros.
Tigers in the Pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
There's a lot of places we could start with Wild Card Weekend because the former Tigers had themselves a time. I mean, they put on a show. But we got to start with Jaden Daniels. He's the one who made the most history. 268 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Also ran the ball 13 times for 36 yards. Game-winning drive yet again. Commanders get the win 23-20. Jaden Daniels becomes the 4th rookie quarterback in NFL history to win a road playoff game. He leads the Commanders to their first playoff win since 2005 when they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And oh, by the way, this was the third time. No, it's not hump day. I kind of wish it were. This is the third time this season that Jaden Daniels has authored the Commanders to a no turnover, no punt victory.
That's pretty good.
Third time. No one had ever done it before as a rookie. He's done it 3 times.
3 times.
Jaden Daniels is incredible. Ian Rappaport had a report earlier today that Patrick Queen battled a severe case of the flu Sunday when the Steelers went up to Baltimore. In fact, took 4 different IV packs a day ago for PQ. And then he played. And through all that, had 10 tackles, second on the team, including 1 for a loss. Just another dominant effort from him, all while sick. Derek Stingley was friggin' awesome.
Heard of him.
On Saturday. Coming off his All-Pro selection, first team All-Pro, mind you, Stingley, 4 tackles. That's okay. How about 5 passes defense and 2 more interceptions? I'll mind you, he was just outside the top 5 in picks this season in the NFL and was second in passes defense, picking up right where he left off. The 2 interceptions, by the way, he combined to return them for 70 yards. Stingley and Daniels continue on in the playoffs in the NFL. Ben Simmons, a night ago. 32 minutes. 7 of 11 from the field. No threes. Yeah, not even an attempt. But he did have 14 points and 9 assists in the game. Added 6 rebounds just for good measure. And finally, Javonte Smart over in the G League for the Osceola Magic. Another solid night. 23 points. All of those off the bench. Shot 50% from the floor. And grabbed 8 dimes as well. How about that? That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Supper Club. Was there Saturday night. Today is my 13th wedding anniversary for me and E-Rock. So, January 13th.
Hey, happy anniversary, Scott.
Thanks, Muse.
You're welcome. Happy anniversary. And to E-Rock. Happy anniversary to E-Rock.
Very good. Very appropriate. To leave it at that. Not trying to steal the glory right back to your stupid friends. Did you talk to him about Friday? I went off on...
No, it didn't come up, actually.
On Muso's fratastic, rude friend. He's self-involved dork.
No, it's not him at all.
Whatever that guy's name is again.
It's Adams.
Yeah, he's got a last name for a first name.
Right,
Sharif 5-star.
Sure. It probably would be.
Anyway, we went to Supper Club. It was fantastic. And I told Erica before we went, I was like, hey, don't let me get a steak. Every time I go get a steak, and it's amazing. It's the best steak you'll ever eat in your life. It's amazing. And I was like, hey, I want to try something else. I want to get the veal parm, sea bass, something like that. Don't let me get a steak. We sit down. They handed me the menu. I got a tomahawk ribeye. I just can't help it. Like, I can't. Not only did I get a steak, I got, like, literally the biggest steak on the menu. Anyway, listen, here's the thing about Supper Club. They have all the extras, the add-ons, the specials that make everything so special. The ambiance is great. It's just so much fun to go there. Had a great cocktail. Eric had a glass of wine. We toasted with a glass of champagne. Had an amazing dinner. If you're celebrating something, Supper Club is always great. If it's just because, pop on in. You can always just sit at the bar. It's open seating at the bar. SupperClubBTR.com for your reservations. Oh, y'all, they are already booked for Valentine's Day. But Valentine's Day is a Friday. But the Saturday, they still have spots open for the Saturday or the Thursday. So if you want to go on Thursday or Saturday around Thanksgiving, don't wait. Get your reservations now. SupperClubBTR.com. SupperClubBTR.com. Michael Koppel just texted me, you suck. Oh, he said, did you get the veal? You suck. No, I did not get the veal. But the veal's amazing. Like, the veal parm is incredible. Like, so what I told Erica was, I'll just go one day and, like, I'll get the veal parm, like, to go. Or maybe I'll just go after work one day and just sit at the bar and just eat the veal by myself. But then I'll go sit at the bar and I'll probably just end up ordering a steak because that's what I do every time I go there. All right, Supper Club. They're amazing. Go check them out. All right, when we come back, LSU lands a safety commit out of the portal. We'll talk about it. It's AFR.
AFR.
Wrapping up hour number 2. Love telling you about South Point Volkswagen. Listen, I don't care. If you're in Baton Rouge, awesome. But if you're listening in New Orleans or Lafayette or Lake Charles or Alexandria or North Louisiana, remember, South Point Volkswagen is Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. What that means is they have the best selection and the best prices. Because they sell more Volkswagens, they get more inventory. And also, they can give you better deals. If you're looking for a certified pre-owned vehicle, because they sell more Volkswagens, they have more trade-ins, so their pre-owned inventory is bigger. So maybe you're shopping for a certified pre-owned vehicle, not just Volkswagens, all makes and models. Make sure you shop at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland or southpointvw.com. That's southpointvw.com. Remember, you can shop on the website. Go on the homepage. You'll see right there, there's a little box where you can search by year, make, model, body style, price, all that stuff right there. You'll search if it's on the lot. It's online at southpointvw.com. That's South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Brack, your #1 park system in the nation.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Loomis for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones says the decision to part ways with coach Mike McCarthy was a mutual one and that the team's search for a head coach begins now. Dallas is looking for its 9th head coach since Jones bought the team in 1989. ESPN NFL analyst Damian Woody.
This whole thing is all about Jerry Jones. And until Jerry Jones has some introspection about himself and how he runs that franchise, they'll never get to where they want to go. Regardless of who they bring in as a coach, I just think that they're stuck in the mud until Jerry Jones look at himself and see what he needs, the necessary changes there.
The Bears and Saints expected to be interested in speaking with McCarthy about their openings. Quarterback Russell Wilson told reporters today he wants to remain with the Steelers. He is scheduled to be a free agent this offseason. NFL Wildcard Weekend finishes up with the Vikings and Rams on Monday Night Football, 8 Eastern, ABC and ESPN. A few more teams out of the Roki Sasaki sweepstakes. Yankees, Rangers, Giants, Mets, Dodgers, and Padres remain the considerable favorites to sign the Japanese pitching phenom. With the Blue Jays, another possibility.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier. They'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Go!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Toby Tumplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Otter Locks coming up later this hour. Bill Bender and Ross Jackson were here last hour. If you missed anything, of course, AFR On Demand presented by Breck Golf. You can get it podcast, YouTube. Just search AFR LSU for LSU content. AFR Saints for our Saints content. It's no secret. LSU's single biggest remaining roster need, safety. I've said it, but it's not like I'm some savant. We could run through all the Pro Football Focus grades, but all you need to have is eyes. LSU's weakest position group this year was safety. And they had to go address it in the portal. I've said many times there was no way LSU was kicking off against Clemson next August without adding a safety via the portal. And despite all of the success that LSU has had in this portal cycle, the number one transfer portal class, they had yet to add a safety. It wasn't for a lack of effort. They had gone after the top safety players in the transfer portal. Zechariah Poyser was a guy that they were hard after from Jacksonville State, who landed at Miami. I mean, they have gone, one of the top safety transfers in the country from Purdue. They had thrown their hat in the ring for a lot of these guys, and they just kept coming up empty. Well, LSU now has hit. Tamarcus Cooley from NC State is officially, this is official. He committed, the commitment was announced earlier, but LSU has formally announced it now. Tamarcus Cooley officially a member of the LSU football program, and this is a massive get. It's massive because not only is he a really good player, but he's a really good player at what was your single biggest remaining position of need. I'll go through this a little bit about Cooley's background to kind of catch you up for if you're not familiar, and then sort of how he fits and what it means moving forward. So, number one, Cooley coming out of high school was a 3-star. He was ranked number 988 nationally. So he was not a big-time prospect coming out of high school. He signed with Maryland, played in 2 games, so he took a red shirt in 2023. After 1 year at Maryland, he jumps in the transfer portal, lands at NC State. This season at NC State, Tamarcus Cooley ended up playing in all 12 games, had 30 tackles, a sack, an interception, 7 passes defense, forced a couple of fumbles as well, was a really good, impactful player. And he played all over the secondary. On the season, Tamarcus Cooley, again, redshirt freshman, played in 2 games as a freshman at Maryland, took a red shirt, transfers to NC State, plays in every game, played 738 defensive snaps, played 12 games. He left before the bowl game, so he played the 12 regular season games. 738 defensive snaps. For context, if you look at LSU's defensive players, the total number of snaps, two LSU defensive players played 700 snaps. Ashton Stamps, Whit Weeks. That's it. And by the way, Whit played in 701, so without the bowl game, he would not have played in over 700 snaps. He would not have played over 700 snaps. Ashton Stamps would have been the only one. So, I mean, you are talking about a very talented and versatile defensive player. Not only did he play over 700 snaps, 380 came at slot corner. 101 came on the defensive line, 93 more in the box. So he played nearly 200 snaps at the line of scrimmage. Played 39 snaps at free safety. Played wide corner for 7 snaps. They moved him all over the field. So you're talking about a versatile player. But make no mistake, I've been told the LSU staff sees him as a safety. And of course, Sage Ryan is now part of the Ole Miss team, and Major Burns is out of eligibility. Beyond that, you can look at a comparison just of the quality. Like, one of the things that I always say about Pro Football Focus, it's a metric, it's not the metric, it's just something to consider. But let me illustrate the point here for Tamarcus Cooley, okay? So Tamarcus Cooley's Pro Football Focus grades for this season. Remember, if you're in the 70s, like, you're a really good player. Like, we could all agree Whit Weeks was a really good player for LSU this year. Whit Weeks, his total defensive grade was a 70.9. Okay, so Whit Weeks was a 70.9. The best defensive grade on the team this year was Braden Swinson at an 83. Swinson was an 83. Zai was an 81.2 among your starters here. Okay, Savion Jones was a 75. You got me? Tamarcus Cooley's defensive grade was an 80.8. That grade would have been the third highest on LSU's team behind Braden Swinson, Zai Alexander. His coverage grade was an 81.8. I don't want to bore you with a lot of numbers, but his coverage grade was an 81.8. Major Burns, his coverage, here you go. The only defender that would have had a higher coverage grade was Zai Alexander at 82. Remember, Cooley was 81. Zai was an 82. Next closest was Sage at 73. You want to talk about the other safeties? I mean, you'd have to go, trying to find it, how low it is. Major Burns' coverage grade was a 55. Jordan Gilbert's coverage grade was a 58. Talking about a guy with a coverage grade of 80. So not only did he play a ton, he played everywhere, played at a high level, and it happens to be your greatest position of need. Listen, I don't know. I'm not telling you definitively that Tamarcus Cooley's coming to LSU. The first defensive snap against Clemson, he's going to be a starter. He's going to be all-SEC, All-American. I'm not telling you that. What I'm telling you is that was your worst position on defense a year ago, like in this season. 2 of your starters are gone. And you can say, well, it's a good thing that they're gone. Well, they were also playing ahead of the guys behind them. So what does that say about the guys behind them? Fair or unfair? It's the reality. So you had to get better. And when I look at safety for next year now with the addition of Tamarcus Cooley, you've got Jordan Gilbert coming back. And again, Gilbert will be back for a 5th season in college. And I think at times Jordan Gilbert played well, but he also was playing with a bum shoulder. It was devastating for his ability to tackle at times this year. I wonder if that's a guy that gets healthy, how much better he can be. I don't know the answer to that. But Deshaun Spears, he's very talented, high ceiling. The game needs to slow down. He'll keep getting better. Javen Toviano, maybe the same thing. Kicking back, playing safety, high upside, we'll see. But now you add Cooley, who you know can be a plug-and-play starter at safety and better than anybody you got right now. You added Mansour Delane as well from Virginia Tech, who is a cornerback. But what if Ashton Stamps and DJ Pickett, guys like that, Jakeem Jackson, end up locking down those cornerback spots? Does Mansour Delane go play safety along with Tamarcus Cooley? Maybe. And you got the young guys I mentioned. And then the wild card as well is, what if you land a transfer? Another transfer. Because I've told you for a while now that LSU, because everybody does, has had third-party conversations with players currently in the college football playoff. And every player has 5 days after their season ends for an extended portal window. And that LSU had sort of, air quotes, silent commits from an offensive tackle and a safety. And if that's the case, then why do you keep pursuing these guys? Because nothing's guaranteed. I mean, I told you a story as well. I've shared this with you. There was an offensive tackle from an SEC school whose rep was very aggressively trying to get LSU's collective to engage in a sort of an offer or bidding war for that player. And LSU put together an offer for that player as a former 5-star offensive tackle. Well, you'll never hear about it because kid never went in the portal. I think the agent was just playing both sides against the middle, drive up the price. That's just my opinion. I don't know. I don't know what the intent truly was, if he ever was going to leave that place. But you'll never hear about it because he never entered the portal, never left. So a lot of those conversations are happen third parties independently. And so if you're LSU, maybe that player still goes in the portal and ends up here. And if he does, awesome. But if not, you had to address it, and you did it with a really good player here in Tamarcus Cooley. The only need left for LSU, I would tell you, is offensive tackle. And there's a chance that you could go into next year with what you have and feel pretty good. Because you got Josh Thompson out of the portal from Northwestern, who played tackle and guard at Northwestern. They'd like him at guard, but if he needs to play tackle, he will. Maybe Tyree Adams, Weston Davis, maybe those guys continue to develop and become great players next year. But if you have the opportunity to add a plug-and-play starter, if for nothing else to go compete with your young guys and let the best man win, you do it. Because the portal era allows you to do it. I get asked all the time, how can your young guys ever get experience and become starters if you don't give them a chance? Great question. Go win the job. Go be better than the guy you brought in. But if this era allows you the opportunity or the option to go improve your roster immediately with someone who has played, you do it. And if the younger guys win a job, awesome. The other part about Tamarcus Cooley that is worth noting, he's another one of those guys with multiple years experience. He's got 3 more years of eligibility. So you're talking about a guy who may play 1 year in Baton Rouge. He'd be draft eligible as a redshirt sophomore. But maybe he plays 2 or 3 years in Baton Rouge. So not only have you added a guy that can help you for 2025, but also for 2026 and possibly 2027 as well. Brian Kelly keeps building numbers through the high school ranks, supplementing through the portal, but what you're also seeing now as an addition is getting multi-year portal guys as well to fill the middle of that sandwich from those guys that have transferred out after 1 or 2 years. Told you more than half of the 2023 signing class is already gone. 15 of the 27 you signed are already gone after 2 years. So that young depth is now the roster hole. And adding guys like this fill that roster hole as well. It's a big one for Brian Kelly and the squad. That's 16 portal additions, the number 1 transfer portal class in the country. Tamarcus Cooley out of NC State. The safety is the latest. All right, it's After Further Review. Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows door siding. Oh, yeah, they do shutters as well. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. In about 15 minutes, we have updated 2026 college football playoff odds. So for the 2025 season, but the 2026 CFP. I'll tell you who's leading the way and where LSU falls. That's coming up in about 15 minutes. Mickey Loomis met with reporters earlier today, and somehow he keeps getting less likable or more unlikable, however you'd prefer to say it. Well, let's hear some of the nonsense that Mickey Loomis is spewing now when we continue. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com, 1hourbr.com. For River City's 1 Hour Air. Hey, listen, you see those big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side all over town? Because when your friends and neighbors need someone to come check out the AC or the heater at their home, they do what I do. They trust River City's 1 Hour Air. Because for 4 decades now, River City's 1 Hour Air has been servicing the greater Baton Rouge area better than anyone else. They've got expertly trained technicians. They invest in continuing education, and they invest in their people with the best benefits package anywhere, which is why they have such great retention, such little turnover among their staff. They take pride in the work they do. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. Got a problem with your heater? Funny smells, not working right? Call River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Atmos Energy, our smart choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 9.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Headphone cord was stuck on my ear. Today is mine and Erica's 13th wedding anniversary. Not that I need congratulations or anything like that. You'll understand why I bring that up. And I'm very happily married. I'm a very, very, very lucky man. Beautiful woman who gave me an awesome son and is a great mom. And I'm a very, very, very blessed person. I was thinking about this today because Mickey Loomis was meeting with reporters, kind of updating the coaching search and just Saints off-season stuff. And I'm listening to him talk, and he had a 45-minute press conference. And I couldn't help but think that, like, everything he said just annoyed me. And you know how sometimes, like, I can't relate to this, so if I'm speaking out of turn, I apologize, but some of you will understand what I'm saying. Like, sometimes in a relationship where you've passed the point of no return and you're just done with someone, everything they say and everything they do just annoys you, it bothers you, you criticize everything, like they can't do anything right. You hear that a lot, like, with couples that split, either in a marriage or dating or whatever. And I feel like, as a Saints fan, I've gotten to that point with Mickey Loomis. Like, everything about Mickey Loomis now bothers me. His smug face, smacking on the gum, and his unwillingness to acknowledge any fault with anything they're doing within this organization. And today, I had to listen to Mickey Loomis for 45 minutes piss on my head and tell me it's raining. Like, remember in the offseason, of course you do, when he shows up at that press conference and he starts rattling off the stats of Chuck Noll and Tom Landry and Bill Belichick, all these amazing all-time coaches who had rough beginnings to their coaching career, and he tried to compare them to Dennis Allen. Never mind the fact that we saw Dennis Allen fall on his face in Oakland, and then he was falling on his face again in New Orleans. Like, the audacity of Mickey Loomis to try to compare Dennis, when we all were like, are you kidding me? This is the energy you're bringing? So today, Mickey Loomis is meeting with reporters, and he's asked, hey, do you regret going so hard then in the defense of Dennis Allen? Listen to what he said.
No, I don't regret any of it. Dennis Allen's a really good football coach.
Ugh.
Yeah, so I don't regret any of that.
Oh, my God. Like, I kind of hate everything about Mickey Loomis right now. Like, all of it. I've reached the point of no return. And in some other context, like, you know how when couples break up, like sometimes after they break up, then they can be amicable. You know what I mean? Like, that makes sense. Your friends aren't starting. Your friends are still getting married. They're not getting divorced yet. You'll get to that point. Your friends get married, then your kids have babies, then your friends start getting divorced. Like, that's how it goes. That's the circle. That's how we are all connected in the great circle of life. Don't worry, Adams will get divorced soon enough.
Jeez. Come on, man.
Poor guy.
Damn.
Adams, I wish you and your wife. It's a bit. I apologize, Adams. I wish you and your wife. What's her name?
Brooke.
I wish Adams and Brooke nothing but the best. But you are rude as hell, Adams.
Goodness
married
gracious.
Freaking football season.
Oh.
He's cruising for a divorce.
Anyway, Mickey Loomis. That's what this is about. Back to Mickey Loomis.
Yeah. Like, play another one. He was like, this is just the whole 45 minutes of this.
And there's 32 jobs, and a lot of guys want to be head coach, so every job is attractive.
He was asked, like, why is the Saints job good? He basically said the Saints job is attractive because it's a job. That was his answer. Why is your job not, we got a great cap situation, not, we got a great roster, we got a young quarterback. You know what he said? Our job's attractive because it's a job. Play it again.
And there's 32 jobs, and a lot of guys want to be head coach, so every job is attractive.
I've had to sit here and watch this man gag away the worst cap situation ever in the NFL. By the way, every year before every season, we see everybody put out their preseason predictions, all sorts of stuff, and every analyst ever craps on the Saints for their cap situation. Yet defiantly, here goes Mickey Loomis today talking about the cap situation. There's $50 million over the cap.
I'm pretty comfortable with where we're at. I'm comfortably uncomfortable. So it's something we have to manage, but there's a lot of teams that have to manage their cap that way. And
no, there isn't. There's teams that have to manage a cap situation, but it's $60 million over the cap every year. Meanwhile, you watch Zach Bond go be an all-pro. Trey Hendrickson, all-pro. Your safety play sucks. Meanwhile, you got Marcus Williams out there play. Like, you suck. Don't even get me started on the draft. Don't get me started. Here's Mickey Loomis talking about the draft.
Oh, I'd always take more draft picks if we could get them. But look, I like where we're at, and I like our history of drafting too. I think we've got a really good history of drafting.
Yeah, you got a good history of drafting and not hanging on to the talent because of your awful cap situation, you bum. Oh, and then what was the beginning of that? What did he say at the beginning of that?
Oh, I'd always take more draft picks.
Oh, you'll always take more draft picks if you can get them. Then why do you never trade back to get more picks? Oh, if they're just going to give me picks? Oh, if they're just going to give me picks, I'll take more. Oh, but I have to trade back? No, you know what you do? You trade up every stinking year. You trade up every year. There's this little chart out there about the value of picks, and no GM in the NFL, dating back to 2011, has created less value out of his draft picks than Mickey Loomis. else we got? Muse, what else did this bum say today?
Because the results aren't what we want doesn't mean that we're doing something wrong.
He went back to it.
Oh, he did more than go back to it.
He went back to the well. I mean, earlier this year, I almost had an aneurysm. Like, I blew a gasket. My face was so red, I was scared myself, yelling about Mickey Loomis. And the whole look beyond the results. Look beyond the results. And here you are, fired your coach. You win 5 freaking games, go 5-12, get a 7-game losing streak. You're $60 million over the cap. You got a bum veteran quarterback that you gave $100 million guaranteed to. Of all the jobs open, yours is the least desirable. And you're still going to double down on this look beyond the results crap?
Because the results aren't what we want doesn't mean that we're doing something wrong.
Because the results aren't what we want doesn't mean we're doing something wrong. Like Einstein said it, definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. Brother, the results have been this now for a half a decade. I got it. I was with you when you had a Hall of Fame quarterback and a Hall of Fame coach, and you were trying to go all in to win. Derek Carr ain't a Hall of Fame quarterback, and you don't even have a coach anymore. What are you doing? You got any more? Or is that it?
I got one more.
Obviously, this was a tough season, not what we expected. You know, what jumps out is the amount of injuries, and we've got to do a deep dive into that.
Hey, Muse.
Yeah.
Who's the number 1 seed in the NFC?
The Detroit Lions.
They a pretty healthy team?
No.
Oh, really?
No.
They had some injuries this year?
Actually, 21 of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That feels like a lot of injury.
That's a lot.
And you said they're the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Number 1 seed in the NFC.
So, like, they got the bye and they'll play at home and all that stuff?
Yes, actually, yeah. They're going to play the Commanders.
Interesting,
yeah.
Dude, I've gotten to the point with Mickey. Like, whenever he's no longer the Saints GM, I'll probably have an opportunity to step back and appreciate the many years he's been here, and I'll be able to look at the good he did. But right now, everything about him just pisses me off. I'm finished. I am done. I am done. Like, I will not say another nice thing about Mickey Loomis until he is no longer the Saints general manager. I'm going to tell you this. I don't want to have to do this, but we're getting close to the point where I'm going to start pointing the finger at Gail Benson. And I don't want to do that because I think she's a very good owner. Because when I look at ownership, there's 2 things that I think an owner should do. Hire people and get out of the way. That means you put people in position and you let them go do their jobs. You don't meddle, and you give them the resources they need to succeed. And by and large, Gail Benson has done that. She is willing to spend money, and she does not meddle. However, at some point, when the results are this bad, you have got to intervene. And allowing Mickey Loomis to continue driving this franchise into a nosedive, crashing toward the surface, is inexplicable. Like, he has got to accept culpability for what is happening, for the state this franchise is in. And the one person who can hold him accountable is Gail Benson. And the longer she allows this to go on with him, now we start looking at her. But as far as him, I'm done with him. Forever. I'm probably going to get a whole bunch of texts in the show now from people who are like divorced. Like, yeah, man, I can't stand my ex, man. Tell you what. She didn't make any noise when she slept, but that bothered me. And then you break up. It's like, we're good friends now. I feel like I could be Mickey's friend after all this is over. When he gets fired. If he ever gets fired. All right. It's after further review.
AFR.
Brought to you by Action Industries, actionindinc.com, Action Industries Incorporated. Proud partner of LSU Athletics. It's Action Industries. Hey, remember, at Action, they've also got the Advanced Turnaround Group. So this is not resources taken from other areas of Action and dumped into the turnaround world. This is a completely separate division of Action Industries run by people who have dedicated their careers to successful turnaround work. So, turnaround season's coming up. Love if you'd allow the Advanced Turnaround Group at Action Industries the opportunity to bid your job. It's Action Industries, proud partner of LSU Athletics. You can always learn more online at the website. That's actionindinc.com, Action Industries Incorporated, actionindinc.com. Make sure you learn about all their different fabrication shop services as well over at Action Industries since 1982. Action Industries.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Atmos Energy, our smart choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
As the NFL coaching carousel is spinning, by the way, just a heads up, Jimmy's here in 10 minutes for Otter Locks. Glad to have Jimmy back today. Ross Jackson over at LouisianaSports.net has a lot of really good stuff up. I mean, look, I'm obviously very biased, but everything we do over at LouisianaSports.net is completely free, and there's tons of good content. Like, our objective is, this isn't just like news aggregation and clickbait. Like, we want to give you good content and give it to you for free. No paywalls, no freemium, none of that stuff. It's no subscriptions. It's just, it's free. And we hope to have great partnerships with great businesses that want to be partnered with us. Ross does have up right now a good piece kind of getting you up to date on the coaching interviews, like for the Saints, all that's happening there. And then he also has his 5 takeaways from the Mickey Loomis end of the year presser from today. Got the info on Tamarcus Cooley committing. Chris Marler, who covers the SEC for us, is starting a feature where he has his season report card for every team in the SEC going alphabetically. So today he started with Alabama, and it'll move on from there. I think tomorrow's Arkansas. So anyway, really good stuff at LouisianaSports.net if you want to go check it out. A couple of things. So Saints OC Clint Kubiak is kicking off the week with a pair of interviews for other coordinator jobs. He's interviewing with the Browns today and the Seahawks on Tuesday. So that's something worth keeping an eye on. There's no guarantee that whoever the next head coach will be would retain Clint Kubiak. Perhaps Darren Rizzi, if he did get the job full-time, might be inclined to do that. Again, don't know. But Kubiak's interviewing for other jobs. And then Dennis Allen is set to interview for a couple of D.C. jobs. The first up is the Colts on Friday. So Gus Bradley was fired at the end of the regular season there in Indy, so Dennis Allen will go interview for the Colts D.C. job at the end of this week. Listen, I wish Dennis Allen well. I have no malice toward Dennis Allen or ill will. He is a really good defensive coordinator. But it's the phrase I always used. He's a lieutenant, not a general. He's a defensive coordinator. He's not a head coach. And look at, when he was the DC for the Broncos, remember he was an assistant in New Orleans, went to the Broncos in 2012, was the DC for 1 year. They were 4th in the NFL in total defense. Then in 2013, he became the head coach of the Raiders. 2015, he rejoined the Saints when the Rob Ryan experiment was exploding. And the Saints were dead last in defense. And then in 2016, they were 31st. And then in 2017, they were 10th. And then 14th, 13th, 5th, and 4th. Those were the years that Dennis Allen was the DC in New Orleans, never lower than 14th. And that was 2018, the year where they were the number 1 seed. So point is, man, Dennis Allen is a very good defensive coordinator. I think he'll go somewhere and do a really good job somewhere as a defensive coordinator. All right, it's after further review. Hey, y'all know for years I've told you about my buddy Darren James. Does an awesome job, number 1 realtor in the state of Louisiana. Today is Darren's birthday. Incidentally, Erica's and my anniversary is on the same day as Darren's birthday. And I was riding around town today, and Darren's wife, Jennifer, had Darren's billboards around town replaced with a happy birthday billboard, asking people to text or call Darren to wish him a happy birthday. So I'm going to shout him out if you would. I'll give you Darren's cell, which I always do anyway. Just shoot him a text and wish him a happy birthday. Say Scone was shouting him out on air. So it's 225-335-7666, 335-7666, 335-7666, 335-7666. If you want to give Darren a text or a call. And this is his actual cell number I give to you all the time, but just shoot him a text. Wish him a happy birthday. He's an awesome dude that does so much for so many. I've told you the story, who Darren is as a person, man. The year we were in the hospital with Drew at Texas Children's, it was Thanksgiving Day, and we weren't with our family. We were obviously in Houston, and Drew was in CVICU recovering from open heart surgery, and the nurse called to the bedside and was like, Matt, you have a visitor here. I go up to the front desk. It's Darren. Darren's wife, Jennifer, her family's from Katy, Texas, which is a suburb west of Houston. And on Thanksgiving morning, he got up, drove about 45 minutes away from his family on Thanksgiving just to come wish us a happy Thanksgiving. We visited for maybe 5 minutes, and then he drove back. But that's just the type of person he is. He's just an awesome human, man. It's just great friend, and I love him, man. It's his birthday. So happy birthday to Darren James today. If you want to shoot him a text, just to wish him a happy birthday, again, 225-335-7666, 335-7666. Shout out. Happy birthday to my guy, Darren James. All right, it's after further review. Not only is today my anniversary, it is Darren James' birthday, it's also the anniversary of the coronation of the greatest college football team of all time.
And these people spelling his name, season national championship. As they say in the Bayou, laissez la bon temps rouler. Let the good times roll. LSU sits on the throne of college football.
An honor to
That's how it sounded with Chris Fowler on the call on ESPN 5 years ago in the Superdome. LSU blasted Clemson 42-25. It wasn't even that close. They were incredible. Joe Burrow put up over 400 yards and 6 touchdowns. Jamar went off for 221 receiving. The natty.
Wait, that doesn't normally happen in the national championship game?
Like, we just say it so flippantly. Justin Jefferson, turns out he's pretty good too. 9 for 106. That was an afterthought to Jamar's 9 for 221.
9 for 221.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Clyde ran for 110 in that game. Greatest college football team ever. Can only be equaled, never bested. They were absolutely insane to watch. That whole euphoric ride in 2019. And, there's the obvious question of when LSU might get back there and, 5-year drought of not just of a championship drought, but 5-year drought of relevance. I mean, LSU hasn't been, it's fair to say, hasn't been nationally relevant since then. I mean, 2020, they were 5-5. 21, they were 6-7. Brian Kelly had back-to-back 9-3 seasons before going 8-4 this year. So it's been a half decade since the greatest season ever. But it's also been a half decade of national irrelevance. So it's all a large part to why this transfer portal cycle has been so so invigorating, because I think as an observer, when you sit back and you watch what's happened here with a team like Notre Dame, who's the 7th seed, and Ohio State, who's the 8th seed, in this era, the playoff is behaving as it should. It allows you to go settle things on the field instead of just assuming we know certain things. And boy, I'll tell you, it will be a massive, otherworldly failure if LSU isn't in a 12-team playoff next year. For whatever it's worth, BetOnline today updated their CFP odds, the 2026 championship, so the 25 season, but the 2026 CFP. They have Texas as the betting favorite at plus 450, followed by Georgia at plus 550, tied with Ohio State. Then Oregon at plus 700, Penn State, Notre Dame, Alabama, Tennessee, Miami, Clemson, then there's LSU at plus 2,200. I'll tell you this much. Some of that is just name recognition. Alabama, with very likely a freshman quarterback, flush them down the toilet, y'all. That ain't just my Bama, as Burns. I've been right about Bama every step of the way. Ain't nobody that can point fingers at me and say you're just hating. I have been right every step of the way. And you wait for the regression that's coming when you don't have a veteran quarterback. When you're going to go play a true freshman quarterback, good luck. But not actually good luck. I'd say the same for Notre Dame. Drew Aller back at Penn State. We'll see. Ohio State's going to lose a ton from this team. My only point is, LSU at the 11th best odds at plus 2,200. Give me all that right now. You want value? Value on LSU right now. All right, it's After Further Review, brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Y'all, Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day. 1 month from tomorrow. February 14th. Don't screw it up, guys. Get her a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. They're the best. I love talking about Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. I love going to see my friends at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry because they do an amazing job of creating a buying atmosphere, making you comfortable. Listen, we don't always go into jewelry stores. We don't know a ton about, you want to have me go taste test and sample 500 different whiskeys and tell you which one's good? And I got you. Sneakers, I know what I'm looking at. Jewelry, that ain't exactly my thing. So you want to be comfortable going in there, and that's what Lee Michaels does an amazing job of. And, of course, they got the absolute best selection. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, family-owned and operated for 4 decades, LMFJ.com. 9 locations in all, or shop online at LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Okay, it's After Further Review, final break. Jimmy's back. We'll do Otter Locks when we come back to wrap up this Monday edition of AFR, presented by Relief Windows. Stick around.
After further review.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. You've been injured in an accident. It's not your fault. You know what to do. Do what injured people in our state have done for more than 30 years now. You go to getgordon.com. That's getgordon.com. And when you go to the website, you can see the types of cases that they handle. So there's a drop down on the top, or you can scroll down and see it as well. But it'll list all the different types of cases. Of course, they handle car wrecks and big truck wrecks, but sometimes there are workers' comp cases, and there can be wrongful death cases, and so many different types of law that they practice. And Gordon has offices and attorneys all over the state of Louisiana. So no matter what corner of this state you're in, you can always get Gordon and get it done. Call 888-8888, 888-8888. Again, 888-8888, or go to getgordon.com. That's getgordon.com. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Gordon's done such an amazing job with Gordon Gibbs over the years, the charitable arm of Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Learn more. Get Gordon and get it done.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Down the stretch, we come final segment here on a Monday edition of AFR. Always appreciate Brandon Holly and the gang over at Relief Windows. They are the best. Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. One thing left to do, find out what we're betting on tonight. It's time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
What a way to announce your return. A count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-0 wild card Sunday for the Yacht Father, Jimmy Yacht. Otter, how are you?
Nothing to lift your spirits in a 5-0 Sunday, baby. A wise man once said it pays to listen to football Sunday. Huh?
It very much pays to listen to football Sunday. And Otter Locks, because you don't want to know why, Otter. The other part of it too, man. College basketball. I don't want to jinx it, but man, you kind of picked up right where you left off last year on college basketball as well.
Yeah, it's a good start. Good start. I'll be at one of the games tomorrow night between the two undefeateds in the SEC, Alabama and Ole Miss. So
Okay.
we definitely light schedule tonight. I was tempted with Boston College against Notre Dame. Notre Dame's laying double digits with a losing record, and I'm going to stay. It's too light. They had a couple of 5:30 games I considered as well, but there's so much more of a better menu coming, especially Tuesday and Wednesday. Tomorrow, Wednesday, we're going to have a nice chunk of. I got a lot of time on my hands right now, man. So I'm going to study it good. But the unders is what I play blind in the first round of the NFL playoffs. One, you have a big chunk of casual public action. So they bet what they want to cheer for. They want to see points. They bet over. Odds makers know that the lines are inflated. But it's also that the officials just don't blow the whistle as much. Penalties are down. They don't extend those drives. The non-interference calls, classic example last night when on Washington on 4th down. And that's interference. I mean, the rules expert says it, but they just ate the whistle. And they do that sometimes in the playoffs. So that's what we're going. We're not. It's not broken. I mean, let's not fix it. We're going with the under tonight. With the Rams and the Vikings. So I also I do like a little bit of a matchup here. Flores is the highest blitz percentage defensive coordinator in the NFL. 1 minute remaining. And I think that's inviting for Matt Stafford, especially with his receivers. The two experienced receivers that he has. I think that's a good matchup for the Rams. I'm going to do a couple of things here. We're going to do a little bit of a Rams under parlay, but I also like, and DraftKings has a good line on 6-point teasers. Rams plus 8.5 under teaser. Randy McKay is closing out a teaser tonight with the Rams plus 8.5.
Okay. So the Rams 8.5 and the under 47.5.
Yeah, tease it up 6 points.
But tease the under up 6 points as well.
Yeah.
So under 53.5.
Correct. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Rams 8.5, under 53.5 on a teaser, and then do you like the under just at 47.5?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So play the under and play
That's
the teaser.
That's my best bet tonight.
Under and the teaser. All right, Otter. We got 5 seconds. Where are you tomorrow? Where's the
I don't know.
I'll check with Hanny. Thanks, Otter.
After further review.
We'll get with Hanny and find out where he is tomorrow. But y'all listen to Live at Lunch every single weekday. We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit, FirstSouthLand.com. FirstSouthLand.com. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call, your first option should always be First South Farm Credit. Y'all, go to FirstSouthLand.com. I love telling you stories about our friends down in New Orleans who maybe born, lived in the city, starting to build a family now, grow a family, thinking might like a little more land, a little slower paced lifestyle. So a lot of people are moving to the North Shore and commuting into New Orleans. Maybe you're interested. Well, they have a First South Farm Credit branch in Tangipahoa Parish where you can go to buy those 10, 20 acres to build your family's dream home and commute into the city. You get the best of both worlds there on the North Shore. First South Farm Credit. Go to FirstSouthLand.com. That's FirstSouthLand.com. FirstSouthLand.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated